The question on the mind of fight fans across the globe this week is who's the most deserving of the next title shot against Leon Edwards. With Edwards successfully defending his crown and proving his elite skill set against one of the most dominant welterweights of all time, we were sold a fight between Rocky and the bringer of chaos, Colby Covington. This decision by the UFC sparked huge debates across the community, some defending the UFC's decision, whilst others, like Ariel Helwani and other big names, spoke up for Belal Muhammad. I also want to add to this commotion with the name Shavkat Rakhmonov, who will likely be Belal's next opponent in the near future. But without further ado, for today's video, I want to take a look at the fighters and see in their resumes who has the biggest claim to the next title shot, and try to come to our own conclusion on the fighter with the best case for a crack at Leon Edwards. Welcome to Resume Rundown. This is Combat Sports Central, and let's get into it. The argument going around against Colby Covington seems to be coming from his lack of recent activity. Since beating Damian Maia in Brazil, Colby only averages 1.2 fights per 365 days. His record in his last 4 fights is actually only 2-2, albeit both losses coming to the then champion Kamaru Usman, but not a very impressive record to say the least. The other big point of contention here is with the rankings as of February 14th, 2023, Colby Covington does not have a win against a current top 10 since, well, forever. Masvidal is Colby's only career win that still even appears on the UFC 170-pound rankings, and Masvidal sits at 11. To be fair to Colby, if you look at the fights like that, it's very unfair. 2 very competitive fights with Kamaru Usman, and when he took on his opponents, they were ranked, and they were ranked rather high. Woodley at the time of their contest was a top 5 fighter, and Colby went to Brazil at the peak of Rafael dos Anjos' run, defeating him, while Colby himself came into the contest as a massive underdog with RDA being minus 190. And RDA at that time was an interim UFC welterweight champion and one of the scarier guys in the division. So the top 10 argument doesn't tell the whole story. Fans and media alike have gotten behind the case of Belal Muhammad for the next title shot. Activity has been the name of Muhammad's game, with his latest run averaging 2.3 fights per 365 days at the top of the welterweight division. He's riding an impressive 9-fight unbeaten streak. We'll pick up with his run in the summer of 2021, coming off a disappointing no contest against the now champion Leon Edwards.
Oh my goodness.
Belal would meet the 43-year-old Damian Maia, who was ranked number 9 in the division at the time, on the main card of UFC 263. Belal would win a unanimous decision and enter the top 10 for the first time in his career, boasting an impressive 20-3 record. The UFC would then turn around and match Belal up with a consistent top 5er in the even Wonderboy Thompson. Bookmakers would give Belal only a 32% implied win probability, and Belal would absolutely dominate this fight. All 3 judges gave Belal a unanimous decision, with 2 judges scoring it 30-26, that's one 10-8 round, and another scoring it 30-25, that's 2 10-8 rounds. This followed the same lines as the media scores, which had 14 journalists all polled, and they all scored it to Belal, and all by a very wide margin. Off that win, Belal would be on the radar of the top 5, and would get another top 5 opponent, and be the underdog for his second straight fight against Vincente Luque. Luque was the definition of red hot at the time, winning 4 straight fights with a first-round finish of another top 5 challenger in Michael Chiesa. Again, Belal would cash as the underdog, winning another wide unanimous decision, with Belal winning 11 of the possible 15 rounds on the judges' scorecards. With this impressive win, Belal wouldn't even move more than 1 spot in the rankings. This being because Hamzat versus Gilbert Burns was in the mind of fight fans and was all over the news, which happened just a week prior. This saw that both fighters, Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev, would be ranked ahead of Belal at this point. Finally, we get to Belal's most recent performance. Late into last year, Belal, like most other contenders climbing the ladder, was put in that position as a top 5 fighter to defend his spot, and he was put up against the next big thing. The next big thing manifested itself in Philadelphia native Sean Brady. Brady was only 3 spots behind Muhammad and was undefeated with 15 straight wins, and they were scheduled to fight back in 2020, but Brady had missed the fight due to injury. Proving the decision doubters wrong, Belal finished Brady in the second round and earned a Performance of the Night bonus on the UFC 280 card. Belal still only sits as the 4th ranked welterweight currently, while Colby remains inside the top 3 at number 2. Belal has 3 Performance of the Night bonuses, while Colby only has 2. Colby is the stat leader in single fights with significant strikes landed and most takedowns landed in a single fight, whereas Belal really doesn't hold any welterweight stat leads in any category. Strictly by the recent numbers, I believe that Belal should have earned this opportunity, but in the landscape of the UFC, where they're looking at pay-per-view sales, rivalries, and trash talk, I understand why the UFC went with Colby Covington, and I don't believe the gap in performances is as great as some of the media and some fans are making it seem, to where Colby may not deserve this opportunity. I think this one really comes down to a coin flip. Both guys are hot. Both guys deserve title shots. And I think we're going to see both guys get those title shots at some point in the near future. Colby obviously being the next in line. And Belal, I think he'll be able to win himself into that spot. But let me know what you guys think in that comment section below. If you enjoy combat, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But that'll do it for today, guys.